Hi everyone, today's video is going to show how to go from a raw data set like this to something that is organized like this that you can use to sort, filter, do other things with. But before we get started on that, go down here to the right hand side, there's a little subscribe button, click on subscribe, and after you're done with this video, make sure you check out the rest of our videos. Okay, let's go ahead and get started here. So what I have here is I have a system dump. So this kind of came out of whatever system, some accounting system or something like that. And what I have here is I have a list of customers. And each one has a customer number, a customer name, and then an amount that we received from each customer, or some kind of revenue number or something like that. So what I want to do here is I want to get this into a format that I can use to do other things with, sort, filter, and things like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the text to columns to do that. So the first step that we want to do is just kind of look at the data and see what kind of stuff there is in common with how this could be separated. So I noticed by looking at this that each customer has a 6-digit customer number, and then there's the customer name, and then each amount from each customer is separated by a colon here. So I'm going to kind of look at that, look to those things to kind of separate things out whenever I do the text to columns. So the first thing we want to do is just select all of the data that we want to separate, and grab that there. And then what we're going to do is come here and under the data tab of the ribbon, click on text to columns. And so like I was saying, the first thing that I noticed is that each one of these customer numbers is 6 digits long. So there's two options here. There's the delimited option, and what that does is it separates the characters based on things like commas or tabs. So if there's something that separates each one, then you can separate it based on that. Or there's the fixed width option, and what that does is it says, okay, there's a certain number of characters, in this case it's 6, we can separate it based on just the number of characters. So I'm going to go ahead and select the fixed width option, and then I'm going to click on next. And so now what I'm going to do is there's instructions up here on kind of how to do this, but what you want to do is we're going to put a little marker here by left clicking, and it puts a little marker here. This is where it's going to separate each of the items. So you can see here that I've separated it right where the number ends and the name begins. So once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and click next. And then this screen is kind of asking what kind of format we want to put it in, and where we want the new information that's generated from this range here, where we want that to show up on our spreadsheet. So we're going to go ahead and put it here in C2. That's where we're going to start the new table. So there's two options here. You can either click in there and just type in C, or you can go here and click on this and select where you want the information to show up, and then go ahead and click this little box to come back to it. So once we do that, we're going to go ahead and click finish, and as you can see here, it separated the customer number from the customer name and the amount. I didn't separate the amount yet because I noticed that we have a colon here that separates the amount from the customer name. So I didn't want to do the fixed width because all of the names are different characters, so that wouldn't have worked for that. So I'm going to go ahead and put some titles up here: customer number, customer name, and then this is going to be the amount column. So go ahead and separate this. So the next thing we're going to do is, since we need to get the amount out and put it in this column, we're going to go ahead and select all of the customer name, select that range, and then we're going to go to text to columns again. And like I said before, there's the two options. This time we're going to select delimited because we have a colon that separates the name from the amounts. So we're going to click on delimited, click next. And then here it gives you some common options. You can separate it by tab, you can separate it by semicolon, comma, space. In our case we have something different. We have other, and what that's going to do, and it'll kind of give you a little preview down here, but what that's going to do is it's going to separate it based on what we put in this little box here. So we know that it's separated by a colon. We're going to go ahead and put a colon in here, and this is going to give you a little preview of how it looks down here. And then we're going to go ahead and click next. Now it's asking for the destination, so we want to replace what's in here. So we're going to go ahead and leave it as D2 and click finish. So now you can see that the customer name is broken out separately from the amount, and then the only thing that's left to do is to format your table and get the information how you want to get it. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete this and format this. Oh, we did have one little error here. Looks like there was a column, there was a colon in here in this name. So you just want to check for those kind of things. You know, if you got one or two of them, go ahead and fix it like that, and update the name. Sometimes, you know, if there's a lot of them, you kind of need to do a little bit more work, but that is how text to columns works, and we'll see you all next time.